know what are the principles to living life to the fullest? What are the things that you must do to live life to the fullest? Yes, we live in a world where every day we're inundated and we're always surrounded and saturated with so many things to do. You know, no matter what you turn on, whether the news, media, online, it doesn't matter where you go, we have all these things going on that it seems like if we become so consumed with them, then we can find ourselves being so occupied and preoccupied. Well, in this lesson, in today's session, I'm going to talk about principles for living life to the fullest. I'm going to go through this whole week. You guys in for a treat. This whole week, I'm going to go through, my book. I'm actually going to be reading. We're going to do a book club, a book reading. And I'm going to be reading and I'm going to share some different insights in the different parts and go a little deeper dive into some of the principles for living life to the fullest. And so again, you guys are on for the ride. Definitely share this post, share this, let other people know that we're about to go into a deeper dive into the book, Donovin Darius's Next Level Motivation, Principles for Living Life to the Fullest. So I'm going to read and then I'm going to share a little bit. So again, welcome. I want to welcome you guys, everybody that's joining on. Make sure you go ahead and if you haven't got the book, you can definitely pick your copy up as well on Amazon as well. And so we're just going to kind of start from the beginning. And I don't know how long this is going to go in terms of how many days I'm going to do it, but I will do it every day this week. So every day this week around 8 o'clock, barring my schedule, I'm going to come on and we're going to continue to go through this. And I'm going to share some different thoughts, some different ideas. Just a little backdrop with this book here. I wrote this book in 2017. It took me 4 days to write it. And I only say that because just as a woman has a baby, a woman is pregnant with a baby, there's something inside of her that she has to deliver to the world. It's a gift to the world. It's something that, yes, there may be pain that went into producing that child and the trimesters, but when that baby comes out, she knows that it's a gift to the world and the joy that overfills her heart with it. And so was the same thing for when I wrote this book. It was one of those things where it was December 25th of 2016. And I said, I refuse to go into 2017 with this constant reminder, this constant thing on the list, this constant thing that I knew I was supposed to do, but I didn't do it yet. That was to write the book that was laid on the inside of my heart. And so again, one of the things I did is I basically said, okay, well, how can I write it the fastest way? What is the best way to write this? Because I never wrote a book before. You may feel the same thing. You may have never wrote your personal memoir. And so I went and looked online, researched, found out, okay, how you can do it in 13 steps, and I did it. And so for 4 days, I just went at it and I just poured into it, set my outline. And I talk about that in this book as well. And I think it's in chapter 8 about how to, that life is a journey and then how to create your own personal memoir. So I talk about that in this book as well, about what I took and what the steps I did. But at the end of the day, after I did it, I felt relieved. I felt relieved. But I also felt at the same time, I felt motivated and inspired because I said, you know what? Sometimes the hardest thing to do is start. And so the fact that I got the first one out, and there's going to be many others. I'm working on several other books this year that will be out by the end of this year. But again, this one I want to kind of take you guys through. So again, I picked the term next level motivation because everything is about next level. It's all about next level in your life, your relationship, your finances, your emotion, your spirituality. Every part of your life, there is a next level if you're honest with yourself. Where you're at right now, there's another level you can go. And then principles for living life to the fullest. What is the whole component about the principles? See, principles are laws. Principles are laws that no matter how you feel, no matter what time of the day, no matter what's going on, principles will always work. Okay? Gravity, you think about it. Gravity is a principle. Whatever goes up must come down. It doesn't matter if you believe it or not. I don't care if I'm on top of this building, okay, on a 10-story building. And that day, I just feel like, I just don't believe in gravity today. Or I'm just not feeling gravity today. So it doesn't matter how I'm feeling. But if I take a step off that building, no matter whether I believe it or not, that principle of gravity, the law of gravity, will work. And so if I walk up that building, I'm going to find myself broken up, busted up or messed up, one or the other. And so at the end of the day, we're living a life based off of principles. Principles are the most important thing that we can do. Principles, not subjectivity, not your opinion, not just your idea, but what are the principles that govern life? And so I share a couple of those things in this book, and in which you can get a chance to kind of go through it and go from there. So I'm going to start the very first introduction, and I'm going to read. This is going to go about 15 minutes. I'm not going to keep it long, but again, we'll just continue to keep going. I just felt like it was important for me to give a deeper dive, let you guys know exactly what's in it. It's a continuation of the conversation that we continuously have on these live videos, as well as other forms of communication, okay? So the very first chapter, the introduction says, it's the world of motivation. It says, here's a quote, whenever you see a successful person, you only see the public glories, but you never see the private sacrifices to reach them. You see, I always say when people see NFL players or they see somebody being successful, you see someone on social media, and I was talking to one of my daughters yesterday, and she was like, you know what, Dad, I went through a period of time in my life where I was going through a period of time where I was looking at social media, and every time I looked at social media, even when I didn't want to do it, I found myself comparing. I found myself comparing myself to other people because the people only put on the videos or social media the best of the best, the filter, the after effect. They only put up there, hey, look at me. But if there was a camera and you looked at them 10 seconds before, you know what I mean? They'll go from the Instagram, hey, to all of a sudden, you ever seen this? They look at the picture, it looks great. Like this is perfect. Hey, here I am. And then as soon as they push, they capture the picture, their face changes. So they go like from hey to, and then it's frown. But man, what just happened there? Who just transformed right before my eyes? You know, but that's what social media does. And so as I'm talking to my daughter, and she's like, you know, Dad, I found myself, even without trying, comparing myself and thinking that I'm supposed to be doing more than I was doing, or thinking that I'm doing this or I'm not doing that. You know, you ever feel that? You ever have that in your life? You ever have a situation where again, you only see the person's glory, but you don't know their story? And so here I tell you the same way. That quote, understand this, we all have a story to tell. We all have a story that helped us get where we are. We're all complex individuals that are living life on a journey. And part of that journey are the ups and the downs. Part of that journey is the fact that it's not just straight ahead. It's not just, you know what, I put my backpack on, put my shoes, tied my shoestrings up, and I walked, and guess what, everything was peaches and cream. No, there are some headaches. There are some heartaches. There are some pains. There are some disappointments. There are some letdowns. But guess what? I'm here to let you know throughout this book that it's a part of your journey. And it's the ways that you can utilize it to maximize your performance, ways you can utilize it to grow, to be better, to learn, to enhance, and to have even a fuller life. And so again, understand this. People may see your story, your glory, but they don't understand your story. And I'm here to encourage you, man, to tell your story, live your story, embrace your story, because that's your story. You know the term history, it means his story. Well, there's his story for you if you're a male, and there's her story for you as if you're female. You have a wonderful story to tell. You've overcome so much, and I'm here to celebrate with you. And that's what we're going to do as we go through this book. We're going to constantly in a celebratory mode, constantly celebrate, you know what I'm saying, your thinking, your heart, your mind, your actions, your life, okay? And so that's where it starts out. Then it said, what does it mean to be, and I'm reading from this book, what does it mean to be motivated? It seems that everywhere you turn these days, someone is talking about being motivated, losing their motivation, or asking questions like, what does it take for me to be motivated? Remaining motivated while turning the page on accomplishment after accomplishment can come natural to some people. Yet for others, it can be a very hard thing, and it can seem as if life has been reserved for the next person. Well, I'm here for you. Whichever end of the spectrum you find yourself, you lean towards, or you identify with, just know that I'm here for you. Whether you understand what it takes to be motivated and to accomplish these things that you've always wanted, or you feel like there's more left for you to do, just know that you're not alone and that I'm here for you. The root word of motivation is motion. In other words, it is the act of an individual moving from one place to another, from one season in their life to another. I've discovered throughout my 40 plus years of living and 30 plus years of participating in competitive sports that there are several key principles proven to aid someone in their pursuit of an extraordinary goal. Paying close attention and follow the steps that I'll lay out in this book will be life-changing all to those who will seek out ways to immediately apply them. Goals once thought to be unattainable can now be held firmly within their grasp. Many will claim it's not what you know, but it's who you know. You ever hear that before? That is important when navigating through life, particularly in the world of entrepreneurial aspirations. While that may be true in the world of pure motivation, it actually does matter more about what you know than who you know. If you know that you have what it takes to overcome any challenge or break any glass ceiling, then who you know becomes irrelevant. The person now in charge and in control of your destiny is you. You see, you think about it, I'm sure you heard that before, man. It's not what you know, it's who you know. And there's some times that you've had favor in your life and you've been able to get some things and get some opportunities because of who you know. But while that is important, I truly believe that the most important person that you should know, the who you know, is you. Self-actualization, self-realization, the fact, the art, the state, the exercise of getting to know you is the most important thing that you can do in terms of getting to know someone. Who are you like? What do you like? What don't you like? What do you want more of in your life? What do you want less of in your life? How has your adversity shaped your life? How has fear and failure shaped your life? What are the lessons you're learning about life right now? What are you reading right now? What do you want to do more of? What do you think your purpose is? What have you discovered your purposes are up to this point? Where are you going in your life? Where are you coming from? You see, so knowing who you know and that person that you're trying to know is you. Who you know is more important at times than just what you know. And while who you know is important, what you know is also important. You see, if you think about yourself that you are just your past, if you think about yourself that you are just your finances, you are just your limitations, you are just your mom or your dad's child, you know what I mean? You are just your ethnicity, you are just your culture, you are just the opinions of other people. If you believe that if that's what you know, if that's who you believe you are and what you can do, then you're going to be limited. But if what you know is that you're a masterpiece, if what you know is that you are fully loaded, if what you know is that there's nothing that you can't that can hold you back, if what you know is the fact that you're created as a co-creator, you're created with the ability to change by the use of your attitude and your actions, you can change your whole situation in a matter of 1 second, one decision. You see, if you know that, then this book right here is going to help you. If you know that, then every step you take now can be intentional. If you know that, then you can look like if you're driving in the car and the biggest trials and tribulation of your life can turn into that rearview mirror where it's much smaller. But yet as you're looking forward, you remember where you come from, but you're looking forward to where you're going. And so understanding who you know, knowing yourself, is the most important person to ever know. Secondly, understanding this, what you know, knowing your ability, knowing your capacity, your capability, and knowing the fact that, listen, nothing can stop you and no one can stop you but you. Continue reading. To date, the world of motivation has produced two types of people who are one and the same. It's created people with a desire to do better and people who have not achieved the long-lasting results that they all desire. I'm confident that this book was designed for you. The key to any lasting change begins and ends in the mind. In the mind is where you'll store your experiences, your ideas, your possibilities, and your dreams. Later in this book, and I believe it's chapter 6, I talk about the mind. I talk about the conscious mind, the subconscious mind, and how they come to help us, and how they can be the component that actually hurt us. How we can change our destiny. We can change what we see. We can do it. Nobody can do it for us, and that's the most amazing part about it. Nobody can do it for us, but we can do it. And understanding these principles of your mind in a very practical way will help you get control of your life, will help you see life from a different perspective, and help you see your life being victorious versus being a villain and or just a victim, okay? It says, we typically say that 90% of all victories occur between our earlobes and in our minds. We say that in athletics all the time. Hey, the victory was between his earlobes, man. It was in his mind. He won the game before he even started the game. He or she saw the play happen before it even happened, okay? It says, you can have the best conditioned, experienced, or well-intended individual, but if he or she doesn't have the right mindset with the right information, then they'll never be able to maximize their potential. They'll go through life never having fully become all that they were created to be and do. Do you know anybody like that? Do you know anybody that has so much potential? Do you know anybody that had dreams and had goals and had a blueprint for their life, and now they look at their life 5 years later, 10 years later, 15 years later, and they're like, man, what in the world happened? How did I have all those ideas about myself? And I found myself just living in a cubicle somewhere. Or I found myself just doing this little small stuff that's not only using just a small smidget of my potential. Do you know anybody like that? Who feel like they're just living life with potential? Because potential is untapped ability. They're walking through life with just potential. Everybody always telling them, man, boy, you know, you're going to be something. Or you was going to be something. Man, you had so much potential. You had. Well, I'm here to encourage you today. But listen, you can turn that had into glad. And you can become what it is you always wanted to become. Yes, it may not be exactly the same way before. Guess what? Because you're a different person than you was before. But you have an opportunity to achieve your dreams. You have an opportunity to achieve those things that you've always desired. But as I said, if you got to have the right mindset with the right information and the right action in order for those things to happen, all right? And so last part on this one, it says, in this book, I will reintroduce you to the most impactful influencer you'll ever meet in your life, yourself. I'll remind you of the reasons why you can do anything you decide in your mind that you want to do. You will read these principles and they will speak to your heart and your mind. They will remind you from deep within your soul that you are created for greatness and that you are placed on this earth to become someone who truly matters and makes a difference. You're God's greatest creation. Above all things, you have a tremendous opportunity to express the gifts and the talents that He supplied uniquely to you. As you read through the chapters and subheadings, take ample time to let the words sink in and bring new thinking and realization into the world of possibilities. I guarantee you that after you read this book, you will see the world from a whole new level. With you being on top of the world, willing, able, and prepared to accomplish anything. That's just a part of the first chapter of the introduction. Again, tomorrow I'm going to read again. I'm going to read some more, and we're going to just kind of keep going. So I'm going to wind up reading this book, so I'd love for you guys to stay a part of this journey. But is this making sense to you already? Are you understanding that, guess what, in life, we all fall short. We all have things in places that we need to go from one place to the other. And that's why, for me, one of the most rewarding things I can ever be outside of being a father and outside of being a husband is being a coach. And that is being someone who develops a relationship with you, who is able to relate to what you're going through, to be able to relate to where you want to go, to be able to relate to situations in your life, and then give you the support, the ability, okay, to be able to come out of where you're at and go to the next level. There's some people that are on top of the world. That's great. Well, I want to encourage you to stay on top of the world. There's some people that are down in the valley. That's great as well. Because guess what? If you can't go any lower, might as well go up now, right? And so being able to get there with you and walk you through those moments. And so again, that's what it means to me to be a coach. And that's what this journey we're going to do in this book club, if you will. So I'm going to create this, as we call it, this book club here, this Next Level Motivation Book Club. And again, we're going to be doing the morning motivations around this mindset motivation. It will impact your mind as well as your spirit and your heart and your body, your life and your actions and everything that matters most to you. And so listen, man, I'm excited about this. I hope you are as well. Again, don't forget to share these messages. Don't forget to subscribe, to the YouTube, because I'm going to put these up on YouTube as well. So you'll be able to have access and you can send them out as well. Don't forget to invite people. So I'm going to look to try to do this at 8 o'clock. This week. So again, tune in, set your alarm, set your calendar, set your thing, whether you're on work, in work, at your job, whatever. Definitely check it out, because I'm looking forward to it, because as I go into this, we'll go into some other areas as well. So listen, let's join the journey, man. I'm excited about it. I hope you are. Let's get the most out of it. Remember, if you don't have your copy yet, definitely go to Amazon, Next Level Motivation, Principles for Living Life to the Fullest. Get your copy. I'm about to release the audio book that I recorded as well with the book. It was me recording it myself. And so you'll get a chance to listen to it as you're driving. Plug it into your MP3 player or your phone or whatever it may be, and you can listen to it there. Listen, you guys have an awesome and wonderful day. Let me know if there's any questions you have to actually prepare us for this session. So again, if you post some questions in here, I'll read them by the end of the night. And then the next day, I'll answer some of those questions as we get into the session. So again, this can be a very interactive session. You post questions or you post some feedback or comments, and then I'll look to address it on the next day as we work it in here as well. So again, this is very interactive. You'll only get out of it what you put into it. I'm here present. I'm going to give you everything I got. You guys have an awesome day today. Be blessed. All right. I love you. God bless you in everything you do today. And I look forward to seeing you guys tomorrow. Peace out.